Hi, you guys. Today I'm going to talk about how to keep a high mileage car around for a long time to save money, which I've been doing that for quite a few years now. What I used to do before that, though, like before YouTube pre-2013, was I would always run my cars up to, I'd probably buy them at about 115,000, and they had absolutely no issues, and they depreciated quite a bit. And then I'd run them right up till just before 200,000, because what I found out over the years is that 200,000 is when all the little stuff starts going wrong, and it just starts nickel and diming you. So that's how I got by for years, and that worked and all. But as with, like I said, with all the YouTube videos of how to repair everything, and now I actually have the chance to see how to do all that, I started keeping my cars around longer after that. And this is my secret of what I do. I have two vehicles. I got the pickup and the car. And the way I look at it is it comes down to Murphy's Law. What will go wrong, or what can go wrong, will go wrong. Because both vehicles are high mileage and the parts are just wore out. They don't have that much life left in them. So, and then you also kind of have to look at how all the foreign cars are compared to the domestic cars. Like the domestic cars, you think about you don't have to do valve adjustments on them because they have hydraulic lifters. They compensate for that. And then a lot of the American cars over the years, they always had timing chains, and they were zero maintenance. You didn't have to worry about them. But foreign cars, they have timing belts, which you have to change out. And if you don't, after 90,000 or 100,000, they'll snap, and your piston hits your valves and you blew up your engine. So now with all my vehicles, every 100,000, I change all the fluids on them. So that would be your, well, of course, and with engine oil too, I always do that every 3,000 miles. I don't do this 5,000, 10,000 mile crap that all these manufacturers talk about. Because my instructor in school, when I got my associate's degree in diesel tech, he told me that he doesn't really trust that, because he's like, with this synthetic oil and everything, either way, your filter is not getting changed. In your engine filter, after you get so much crud in it, it gets so much resistance, it goes ahead and it trips the spring there, and it lets all that crap and metal shavings go through all of your engine, and you can destroy it. And then also with these newer engines like the direct injection, with your older indirect cars, what they did is they shot the fuel and air mixture into your intake manifold, and it would run down across your through your intake valves, and it would wash the seats of them. Well, with these direct injection ones, they actually have the injector right in the cylinder, and so it doesn't clean the backs of the valve. And then, like I said, when the valves open up and you have all that carbon on the back, it gets hot really easy, and it pre-ignites all the fuel, and then you get a misfire. And when you have a misfire, it sends raw fuel through your catalytic converter, and that it can plug up your catalytic converter. And with so many states having emission laws, if you have a misfire on your car might run fine, but they will not pass it, and you can't get you can't get that vehicle licensed. You'll have to sell it out of state to somebody in a state that doesn't have emissions testing. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure you don't have that issue there. And also, like I said, if you don't do your engine oil change it very often, you just get sludge built up in your valve covers, just everything. It's just not good for your engine. But like I was saying, at every 100,000, I change my transmission fluid, my transfer case fluid, my rear diff fluid, and my coolant. And I used to not think that coolant was that big of a deal, because it's so expensive and everything. Well, here's the deal. As coolant gets older and more miles on it, it carries electricity. And that's where you get electrical gremlins, where people can't find out why did my signal light do this or whatever when it's supposed to shut off or whatever. A lot of it has to do with your coolant, because it becomes conductive with electricity and carries current all over, and you can't troubleshoot your sensors and stuff like that. And what else here? Okay, also every 100,000 miles, I do kind of the foreign car thing. No matter if it's an American car or not, you change out your water pump, you change out your thermostat, and you change out your timing belt. In which some cars probably might not have that. Well, I'll also change out the serpentine belts then. And I've had good luck with that. And then also, when something starts going, as soon as something starts going wrong on your car, don't push it off. Fix it right away. Go ahead on eBay and order that part in new. You might not have until this weekend to fix it or whatever. But at this weekend here, or a holiday or whatever, Napa's going to be closed. You just might not be able to get the parts there. And then I'll also show you one other thing that you should have on hand. This is a code reader, in which Napa will have these in your other auto parts stores. This one here is called a Think OBD 100. And Scotty Kilmer had suggested this one. I think it was just under $30 after taxes on eBay. And all cars that are like 97 and newer, they have an OBD port, and it's located right below your steering column underneath the dash, and you'll see it down there. And how they work is you go ahead and you plug in this, and then you go ahead and you turn your ignition key to the on position, but do not start the car. And it'll fire this thing up, and it goes through all the instructions for you to get through it. You just hit OK and scroll up, scroll down, and then this here is your back button. And that it'll have the option to read the codes, and you can click OK, and it'll take you into that. And then you can also erase the codes too. Will be one of the options, and you'll just hit OK on that as well. But for many years, I used to just go and borrow Napas because I lived right next to Napa. But the problem is they shut down at noon on Saturdays, and they're not open on Sundays. So then I'd have to wait. So this way you can go ahead and you can fix your car and go ahead and erase the code after that and see if the code comes back, and check on it with this to make sure that it didn't come back, so you know that your problem's fixed. And what else about it? But like I said, the smallest things on there. Whether, I don't care if it's your cigarette lighter goes out, fix it. If you got your vent louvers in the dash, fix them. Get all that little stuff fixed, because that's what happens when people run their vehicles till 200,000. You don't fix all that little stuff, and pretty soon, when you're the guy that buys that car next at the 200,000 from somebody else, you can't troubleshoot it because you'll hear a noise coming from the front end or whatever. So you'll replace a ball joint, whatever. And you'll take it for a test drive, and you don't know if you'll still hear a noise or whatever. Well, maybe that ball joint was part of it, but you go ahead and you're going to have to find other stuff. It could be 10 other things all combined making it like that. And the same with steering components too. Like if your steering is wearing your tires funny, something like my cousin, he replaced like just 1 or 2 parts or whatever, and it made the problem go away. But then like 500 miles away, it started wearing his tires funny, and that gets pretty darn expensive. What he should have done is he should have replaced all the parts, because when you replace only one part, all the sloppy parts in there, they prematurely wear out that new part right away, and then you're gonna have to replace that new part and all the other components right away. So just do a full rebuild on that kind of stuff. And then let's see what else on there. Okay, like sometimes it's worth it to have 2 of everything on hand as well. Like my pickup, I actually have a spare transfer case on hand. They're only $400 to buy them from a junkyard or whatever. So I got that on there too. But yeah, I can't think of anything else. But yeah, just keep up on all your maintenance, and you should be good to go. All right, take care. Bye.